Okay, we are going to get started because Joji, we've already met quorum. So thank you guys so much for being here for our second session of the spring. Very exciting. It's already February. Super, super fun. I hope everyone's semester is going well. So we will get started first with a quick roll call, but before we do that, the song for today, just in case anyone didn't recognize the tune, it was Girl from Ipanema, but it was the Oscar Peterson trio's rendition of it, in case anyone but in the meantime, Jyoti, if you want to do our roll call, that would be awesome.
Yeah, okay, so I'll go ahead and get started first with Senator Decker.
Here.
Senator Huerta, he's gonna pop in shortly actually. Senator Tinti.
Here.
Senator Onbar.
Here.
Senator Riethel.
Present.
Senator Parday. Senator Parday.
Here.
Senator Ibanez. Senator Vakala.
Here.
Senator Hauk.
Here.
Senator Hollingsworth.
Here.
Senator Ibarra.
Here.
Senator Isais.
Here.
Senator Saidu.
Here.
Senator Lopez. Senator Mansfield.
Present.
Senator Subbaraman.
Here.
Senator Brown.
Here.
And Senator Vogel. Okay, that concludes our roll call.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jyoti. So we are going to get started with the agenda. So let me screen share that for you guys to see. Okay. All right. So here is the agenda for today. Everything is pretty much per usual. And then we've got new business. So we've got the two bills that we discussed earlier. So yeah, are there any motions though before we move forward?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Senator Decker.
I move to amend the agenda to allow the Assistant Elections Commissioner to give a report in between items 6 and 7 of the agenda.
Are there any objections or seconds from anyone in the Senate?
I second.
Okay. Hearing a second and no objections, what we'll do is add in presentation from our lovely Assistant Elections Commissioner, Josh, who I know is in the audience. So Josh, we'll move you up to a panelist when we get to that time. So let me type this in really quick. Awesome. So that's in there. And then are there any other motions related to the agenda now that it's been amended?
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Any seconds or objections? Hearing no objection. Oh, is that a second? Perfect. All right. So this is the agenda for today's session. Thank you guys, and thank you for motioning to amend that. Perfect. Well then, since we've already approved the agenda, I will stop my screen share. And what we'll do now is, as per usual, our lovely Dean of Students is here to give us just sort of a little update on how things are going. And then senators will be able to ask questions of Dean Aska afterwards. So Dean Aska, thank you so much for giving us your Tuesday evening. We appreciate it. And if you'd like, you're more than welcome to begin your update, and then we'll do the speaking order of questions afterwards as per usual.
Sure, sounds good. Good evening to each and every one of you. Good to see you all. I can't believe it's already February, but then nonetheless, it's a good time for us to be connected. I do have a couple of updates for you all. One is one that you may have seen already for those of you who are on your My ASU app. The university has been working collaboratively to add some more student-centered functions into the app. And one of the ones that was just done is being able to search out a student of organization of interest on your MyASU app. So all of the student orgs populate on the mobile application. So to allow students more access in order to explore areas of interest that they may have through student organizations. So please check that out through the app, and please spread the word to your constituents that that is a resource there that's available for them. I also want to follow up on a conversation we had last time we were together, and this is referencing Senator Caldwell's legislation that was passed with regards to the trash cans. I'm happy to share with you all that we are going to advance a feasibility study. So this is where we will bring the senators, I'm sure Senator President Hostel and others will come together, identify the right people to meet with our facilities individual to understand what that process looks like, to garner the additional information, and then we will see where we end up with that feasibility study. And I'm sure the group will report back to all of us as far as what they learn and what the next steps might be from that. So wanted to provide that update to you all. Vaccines continue to be a topic that is top of mind for students at this point in time. As you know, the order of who receives vaccine is dictated by the government, not by us locally. And so we continue to await additional direction with regards to who will be in the next groups. There are no known conversations specifically for students in general. And so that's something that we know that's important for you all to be aware of and to know how and if that'll happen and when, but there are no updates about that right now. There are also no updates as of yet with regards to commencement. I know I've been asked that question in a couple of settings already, which is understandable. So for my seniors who are looking forward to concluding their undergraduate experience, there is no definitive decision as of yet with regards to commencement. And I know you all know this because we do talk about it and you all talk about it. It's all about continuing to monitor the environment and seeing the outcomes of all of the efforts that we continue to do. So everything you are doing with regards to continuing with the community of care is really important, and we encourage you to encourage your constituents to continue to operate that way too. The other thing I will share with you all is that we did pilot. Now this is a little bit early, so if there are adjustments, I appreciate you being flexible. We did pilot our contact list testing program this past week. We had a site at across a couple of different residential halls here on campus. And so through that pilot, obviously the pieces are being evaluated with the hope and the goal that in the next couple of weeks, that'll be able to be launched across the university. And so I think, again, as we continue to think about COVID and what's needed, and just because we're going to have the vaccines, it doesn't yet mean that we still don't get tested. I think there's still a lot to be learned in this space. And so I really appreciate the efforts that we continue to put in to continue to have testing made available to our students, obviously to faculty and staff, and looking at more innovative ways in order to make that happen. So students will be able to pick up their test kit, be able to register their test kit, do the spit test, saliva test, and then put that in a contactless container, and then look for the results in the 24, 48-hour period online with regards to what that is. So more information to come out in the next couple of weeks, I would say, but just a heads up that that is a direction in which we are moving with regards to testing. The other thing that I wanted to share is through President Crow's 25 initiatives, we continue to work on the multicultural space. There is a university-wide work group, so representatives from all locations that are meeting on a bi-weekly basis. We had our first meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago, and had our second meeting this week. So includes many of the students that were involved in the conversations in different spaces last semester, and continuing to draw those students and those voices from all locations in order to follow through on President Crow's expectation of having some type of conceptual design to be shared with him as a proposal for this particular semester. In the meanwhile, all 4 of our campuses, including obviously our campus, has identified space on campus for our Council of Coalitions and their respective member organizations to be able to utilize. It is not equivalent, but it is space that is available for them to use as we continue to think about what does this larger space look like and what the needs are in that particular space. So those are the updates for today, and I welcome any questions that you all may have.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the update. So senators, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Dean Aska, if you could just raise your hand and then I'll make a speaking order and we'll have about 15 minutes allotted for this. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to raise your hand.
I will also offer, as we know, we have various Heritage Month celebrations and awareness celebrations throughout the course of the spring semester. So I certainly encourage all of you to share that out with your constituents, the many events and activities that are happening to celebrate culture at our university. So thank you for sharing and get that information out in all of its forms.
All right, Senator, oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. As we kick off Black History Month, I don't know if I said that at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. The coalitions are super, as always, guys, make sure to follow the coalitions and repost their stuff. They're very, very active and post a lot of really great content. But no, we'll get to coalition updates later, and I'm sure you guys will have a lot to tell us. So in the meantime, Senator Ibarra, it looks like you have your hand up, so you're more than welcome to ask a question. Yeah.
Hi. So first off,
oh, are you back?
oh, sorry.
Oh,
can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can now. I
Sorry.
think you accidentally muted yourself, but you're good.
Okay. First off, thank you for coming out today. I just had a question regarding vaccinations. I know that some like housing employees have had questions because they are able to now be vaccinated on campus, but they were given the option of signing up online through some type of portal or doing like a walk-up. But then they go to do the walk-up vaccination and they're not able to do so. So I just wanted to know, like, if there's some more clarity on that whole process.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that those were two messages. It should be signing up through the portal, and it should not be a walk-up for the vaccinations. They should be, as you all know, and it's happening all over, vaccinations are being assigned to people. Part of that is the numbers of vaccinations that are also available. So it should be through signing up. But if there's some specific students that you know of that was having that situation, you can certainly let me know and I could follow up. But if you're talking to your CAs, please let them know to go through the sign-up process.
Thank you. And then, so if they did receive the initial email about the signups and then for some reason the link didn't work, does that mean that the appointments were just filled up and they should continue to try?
Yeah, they should absolutely continue to try.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Senator Ibarra. And then it looks like Senator Subramanian has a question. So Senator Subramanian, you have the floor.
Hi, Dean Aska. I had more of a personal question regarding the vaccine. Say I had gotten my first dose and I have to get my second dose. Do you know whether I would be able to get the second dose at ASU if I got my first dose outside of ASU? And do you know by chance whether ASU is administering the Moderna vaccine or the Pfizer vaccine?
Yes, I believe we are the Moderna vaccine here.
Okay.
And then the conversation is for you to get vaccinated your second dose where you received your first dose. And part of it is, again, the numbers and making sure that everybody who got their first dose is getting their second dose. So yes, the ask is that you would go to where you received your first dose to get your second dose.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for clarifying.
You're welcome.
All right. Does anyone else have a question? I don't see anyone else's hand up, but I want to make sure we have the time, give everyone the chance to ask. Dean Aska, I know sometimes it's you'll find it helpful to ask the senators questions to sort of pull them on things. Is there anything in particular, since it doesn't look like anyone else has their hand up, that you want to ask of the Senate today?
That's a good question. I did not come today with some questions. You all had, we had some good conversations last week with some of the asks and interests. I will also share this, and Senator Hostel, I did send you an email earlier today on this, and I'm looking at Senator Sadoo. The conversation around ASUPD continues to advance. It's part of the President Crow's initiative, and so there are some focused conversations that are taking place in that space. And I know I had a meeting with several senators last fall with regards to ongoing engagement. But what we're seeing is that there's so many pockets of conversation as opposed to shared collaborative conversations. And so that's what we're trying to do. And so really looking to connect you, Senator Sadoo, since you were the senator that presented that legislation, to get connected with the Black African Coalition and might have some dialogues there. So they'll be reaching out to you. So just know that those conversations are moving forward. The African American Advisory Council is hoping to have some updates shared out to the larger group in the next couple of weeks. And so there'll be some updates there. And I know that some of the topics that are on President Crow's initiatives are some of the topics that you all have raised upon for your constituents. So really, I think there's a lot of moving pieces that are happening right now. And so as always, I think the only other thing I would share is if you have constituents that have questions or have concerns or are having experiences and they're kind of looking for information, just to refer them to the Dean of Students office. That's the biggest thing I guess I could continue to reiterate.
Yeah, thank you. Is there anyone else that has any sorts of questions? I know that otherwise, Dean Aska, you'll probably be good to go. I think I'm still not seeing any hand raises, but if you guys do have extra questions or anything like that, I know I just forwarded that email to Senator Sadoo, so I'm sure she probably, she might have read it by now, I don't know. But if you guys have any questions or anything like that that come up after this, don't hesitate to send me a Slack message or send me a text, and I can get those questions forwarded to Dean Aska, and I'll send you guys her responses. But otherwise, Dean Aska, it looks like you're off the hook for the rest of Tuesday.
Okay, not a problem. Well, as always, thank you all for your leadership, and thanks for being here and the work that you're doing to advance. And just have a good night. Continue to take care of yourselves, okay? Stay well. All right.
Thank you.
Everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. So up next, we have a quick little call to the audience. So I do know we have a couple audience members here. So if any of you guys are interested in addressing the Senate, feel free to raise your hand and then we'll ask you to unmute. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds. Anyone in the audience, if you're interested in that. And then if not, we'll move forward with the administrative officer reports. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands, so we'll move on to officer and administrative reports. I am the first officer to give an administrative report, so I hope everyone's doing really well tonight. Main things that I sort of have to update you guys on are one, obviously the All Senate session, and I know I messaged about this, I think yesterday in the Slack. But just so you guys are aware, and it's like abundantly clear, the All Senate session for the spring is going to be next Friday from 2:30 to about 4. I would book yourselves till about 4:30 just to be safe in case it goes longer. Sometimes you never know with the All Senate sessions, right? But we decided to move it to Friday so you guys can sleep in on your Saturday. And the Senate presidents and I are going to meet to finalize the agenda, and I will let you guys know what that is going to look like once I have that meeting with the Senate presidents, hopefully later this week. So we'll make sure to notify you guys in advance of any sort of legislation or any updates or anything that's coming there. If you have any questions though, in the meantime, let me know, and please make sure to just send me and Jyoti a Slack message or an email or a text in advance, at least a day in advance of that meeting, to let us know if you can make it. I do expect everyone to be there. I know there's been like a little less notice than I would have liked. But planning goes the way planning goes sometimes. But hopefully the 2-ish weeks is enough. But yeah, so just message me if you can't go. I'm not going to hold you to it if you notify us in advance. So don't sweat it there. Other main things that I'm sort of working on right now, vacancies. Senator Sanchez Suarez did resign today, just to let you guys know. I wasn't able to message in the Slack about that yet. So we've had a couple resignations lately, so that means we have some vacancies. Like I mentioned in the Slack, BHCC has selected a nominee, Grace Mena, so we'll be hearing her nomination on next Tuesday since it wasn't in time for this meeting. And then the Business School Council should be, they said that they would get me their nomination by February 8th. So whoever their nomination is should be available at that Senate meeting as well. I've asked for their application link, and I'll try to share that out with you guys if I'm able to get it. I just asked for that the other day. So I'll keep you guys in the loop. And then we also have a vacancy in the college and now one in Fulton. I haven't notified the Fulton College Council just yet. I'm sending that email after this, or schedule sending it for tomorrow morning. So I'll let you guys know about that and if there's an open application, and same for the college once I hear back on how they're filling the vacancy. But I did just want to keep all of you guys updated on those sorts of things. So if you know anyone who you think might be interested, you can direct them to me or the college council, and I will get them in touch. But yeah, so hopefully we'll fill those and get you guys some new colleagues soon. Although of course we'll miss everyone who's resigned. But yeah, so just wanted to keep you guys in the loop on that. I don't think there's anything else administratively that I really have to update you guys on. But obviously, if you guys have any questions or you're interested in working on any initiatives or anything like that, please let us know. Jyoti and I have been working really hard with the rest of the exec to sort of connect people on different topics that they're interested in and get you guys the meetings and work on the legislation and those types of things. So if you are interested in anything that we're not currently working on, or you want to be a part of something we are currently working on, just let me know and I'll connect you guys with the right people so that we can get all of your initiatives advanced. I strongly recommend that each of you guys kind of consider something that you're interested in pursuing and let me know. I'd love to have everyone sort of working on different initiatives, time permitting, of course. I know you guys are all busy. But yeah, so I know we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I know the approach team has been working really hard, same with UA, finance, GovOps, all of you guys. So I will not take the thunder from the announcements that I'm sure those chairs are going to give, but definitely make sure to listen to that. And yeah, so with that, without any further ado, we will get into President Palmer's updates.
Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I don't have any major updates. I sent you all the budget earlier today, so if you had a chance to look at that, always feel free to send me an email if you want to talk to me about it. I've decided instead of doing one big budget proposal to change a bunch of things, I'm just going to do them as the opportunity presents themselves. So one thing I'm currently looking into is right now the university is going to be installing 30 new dispensers into bathrooms on all 4 campuses for menstrual products. So I'm working on getting a quote so USG can pay for more of those as well, so we can try to get them in as many bathrooms as possible, and then also get a quote for trash cans in bathrooms, because I know that we've been working on that. Other than that, just keep a lookout for a COP update email from me tonight, and then let me know if you have any questions.
Awesome. And Vice President Capadilla?
I don't have too many updates for you all. I just wanted to remind you that the first President Crow Forum of this semester is going to be on February 16th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And all USG members are required to attend the event. So if you can't attend, make sure that you send an excuse or you submit an excuse form to Trey as soon as you possibly can with documentation of why you can't come to the event. Beyond that, just be on the lookout for some more events and initiatives that the department will be finalizing by the end of this week and pushing forward to complete in the coming months. And if you have any questions or concerns about what's going on in my department, feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome, thank you. And then Vice President Freed.
I don't have too many more things than what I said last meeting as well, but we're having another Wellness Wednesday this week. That'll be every Wednesday, just a reminder. And then the Health and Wellness Department's also working with Jesse Byers to have a conference set up just a mental health forum, basically. And then the blood drive that we had on the 26th, there were 75 people that donated blood, and we gained 87 total units, which was awesome. And we set a date for our town show, which is going to be March 4th. And that'll be in the student pavilion, or it'll be broadcasted from the student pavilion to the rest of the school. And then we're also working on the USG Farmers Market. I believe we have a team working on that, not just within my department, but in other departments as well. If you would like to be a part of that, there's a lot of work that is going to go in that. Just reach out to me, and I can get you connected with Alex, and he can add you to the team. It should be a lot of fun. And then Safety Escort Service just got a new cart, or we are getting a new cart, and there will be an unveiling. So we're actually gonna do a whole ribbon cutting ceremony, which will be a lot of fun. And then they're also presenting at, Lizzie, was the conference this week or last week? Elizabeth? Oh, sorry.
I was trying to get unmuted. It's in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yes.
So in 2 weeks, and you'll be presenting with Ben, or is it just Ben?
Courtney and Ben are presenting for
Courtney and Ben
development experience.
So that's an awesome update for us. That's how well Ben does at Safety Escort, is that he's presenting at the national conference. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Appreciate it.
Awesome, thank you. And then Elizabeth, if you have any updates you'd like to share.
Just my plug for the Crow Forum, which is on Tuesday, the 16th, from 11 a.m. till noon. It's been on our Instagram, but the questions are always welcome. And then we are trying to work on where you can ask your question live. So there's a place on the questionnaire. If you have a question for President Crow and you want to ask your question live, you can select that box, and then hopefully you'll get chosen. But please spread the word amongst your constituents that the Crow Forum's coming up. And then we have another one in April. And the April one, technically Tempe is hosting, even though it's Zoom. And I know that Kajal and her team and others are working on some cool prizes for that. So, I mean, not that you shouldn't promote this one in February, because it's just as important as our one in April, but cool prizes in April. That's all I got, President Hostel.
Awesome, thanks guys. I do want to quickly point out that Senator Brown and Vice President Freed are both wearing the same hat, which I really support. I like the twinning that we've got going on here. Not particularly relevant to the legislation or anything, but just kind of funny. I think we have some more in the office, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Josh is nodding. So if anyone wants a sick bucket hat, my little brother just got accepted into ASU, so I gave him one of them. So if anyone wants them, I'll be in the office on Thursday. We, like I said earlier, we've got some wonderful progress that our committees have been making. They've seriously literally just been killing the game this year. I could not be more impressed by the amount of work that you guys are doing. So if our committee chairs would like to take it away, we first got our approps chairs, Senator Anbar and Senator Vakala. If you guys both want to give an update, one of you wants to give an update, whatever you like, feel free to unmute yourselves and let us know what's going on in the realm of appropriations.
Yeah, thanks. So there's a couple updates from approps. We have our general funding deadline coming up on February 8th. So make sure you let clubs that you're in or that you've contacted or connected with, let them know about that and make sure that they get their application in before then. The event deadline is still March 19th, so that's still a ways away, but we are coming up on the general funding deadline. And then the only other major piece of business that approps has been working on is the textbook subsidy bill that we've brought forward tonight. So we're going to be looking at that in a little bit. And that's basically, I already talked about it at the last meeting, but it's basically going to allow students to be not quite reimbursed, but they're going to have a small credit that they can use to purchase textbooks at the ASU bookstore. So that'll hopefully be helpful, and we'll discuss that more later.
Awesome. Senator Vakala, do you have anything to add? Awesome. What a great duo. All right, moving on to our finance chair, Senator Hollingsworth, if you want to give us your update. I know your committee's got an event next week, so.
Yeah, first, sorry that you can't see me. I had some technical difficulties, but I do have some updates for everyone. We do have our spring summit next Tuesday, so there is a caucus, and I will drop that link for the Zoom as soon as I'm done talking, probably. It's a different link just so I can, allow screen sharing permissions to the college council presidents and whatnot. So it will be a different link, but I'll put that in the Slack today and then again next week. Of course, like I mentioned in our last Senate session, if you guys want to be as involved as possible, if you have questions for the college councils as they're making their presentations, please feel free to do so. The most important thing that we're working on right now is the professional development funding, and we have expanded that a little bit. So we recently have decided to reimburse for the cost of LinkedIn premium memberships. So we're working on the logistics of that, but I think that'll be a really cool thing for students, just, as they're applying for full-time jobs and internships, and they can kind of see how they compare to other applicants, et cetera, et cetera. So we're working on doing that. So that's going to be a part of the professional development funding, as well as working on how to incorporate professional wear. So if people want to buy, blazers or shoes or whatever for interviews they have, we're working on doing reimbursements for that up to a certain dollar amount. That way students can, still buy clothing for the interviews, or if they're graduating and, entering the workforce. So we've expanded it a little bit for that. And then as well as grad exam materials. So whether this is textbooks or courses that you're taking to take those grad exams, we've expanded it to do those 3 additional things, as well as what we were doing prior, which was virtual events primarily, but we did have the option for in-person professional development opportunities as well. So outside of those 2 things that we were doing last semester, we've kind of opened it up a little bit. We definitely want to make sure that as much money as possible is being used from this budget. So definitely tell your friends, tell everybody in USG about this. We've been working on PR requests, updating the website, doing Instagram, and then next week at the College Council Summit, I also will make an announcement there, just so the college councils can have that face-to-face from the Finance Committee to them. That way they can tell all of their, students about it as well. So definitely now that we kind of have everything figured out with how we want professional development funding to look, now it's just about bringing awareness to it. So if you guys need to apply for anything about it, like for it too, definitely feel free. There's a lot of money that we want to make sure goes towards good causes. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Senator Hollingsworth. And then up next, our Government Operations Chair, Senator Decker, if you have any updates for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. A majority of my updates will come when we consider SB 26, as are most of my updates is in the form of legislation. But the Government Operations Committee did receive feedback from the Supreme Court in an advisory opinion. Briefly, I'll summarize it, essentially stating that we may be in violation of our own bylaws if they were to just automatically approve the seat counts just because of some technical wording in the bylaws. Although our calculations were correct and everything that we did in terms of calculating seat counts was correct, it's just like we have to change 2 words. You'll see later in SB 26, and I left you some notes in the Slack a few days ago so you guys could review that and review exactly what those changes are, but I'll go further in depth there. So that's what the Government Operations Committee has been working on to fulfill those requirements. We're always in the market for new bylaw amendments to make our bylaws more readable and likable, because I know a lot of us don't like the bylaws for good reason. It's very long. And now I'm barely just, after dealing with the whole seat count thing, barely just getting started back to working on the bylaws and brief idea that we had brought up last semester. So I'll be working with some interns on that. If you have any interns that are needing some work, I know you guys are all very busy in your committees. Please send them my way. I'm going to get started on that again. That initiative again after the Senate session, not tonight, but later this week. Other than that, our committee members do have some wonderful ideas for some bylaw amendment bills. So there may be some more bills on the floor aside from the nomination bills at the next Senate session.
Awesome, thank you. And then Senator Saidu, I know you have a lot of committee updates for us, so feel free to share.
Okay. Hi guys. So my first bullet point is on Title IX. And so last week there was the Educating Yourself on Title IX event that happened. And the follow-up to that is that we are currently in the process of creating magnets, but that's really Women's Coalition's duty. So they'll let me know if there's any changes to that. As of right now, there are not. They're just looking through different vendors. And then we are also working with the PR director to finally get started on those monthly resource spotlights. So basically once a month, every month, there's just going to be like a compiled post of, what students need to know about sexual assault, like where to go to report, where to get help, where to get exams, things like that. So hopefully those will get started soon. And we're doing something different for April, which is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So we really want to make sure that we are standing up for survivors and doing what we can to help them. And next up, our interns are working with Airmark to get that town hall planned. And right now the wait is because they do want to invite a member of corporate to attend this town hall. So that way if students have questions about, the human rights violations or ethical problems that they have with Airmark, then there's someone who's a reliable source that can answer those questions for them. As of right now, the date that we're working towards is March 1st, but that could change depending on the availability of Airmark and whatever corporate member they could potentially invite. And then psychiatry, we also had a meeting last week with Dr. Krasnow to discuss potential, like what the logistics are, I guess, of having an on-campus psychiatrist available for students. And it was a very good conversation that we had, and we had a lot of our questions answered. It's still in the early stages, like nothing's really happened yet. It was just a conversation that we had, but hopefully next week, or not next week, next meeting, I'll have some better updates for you guys. And then what else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. So the updates with the trash cans, like the legislation that was passed last semester, we are in the process of planning a meeting to get some people together to figure out like what the next steps are for that. But that's like in the very early stages. We don't even have a date for that yet. But that's all the updates that I have.
Awesome, thank you. And then our last section of updates are just anyone who has either a Council Coalition or STLC partner update. If you just want to unmute yourself and let us know what's going on with the group that you're partnered with, that would be awesome. I won't call on like people explicitly. You guys can just unmute yourselves if you have anything.
Just a quick update with the Women's Coalition. Sorry, can everyone hear me? Okay, just a quick update. So if you still want to nominate any women that you know, whether it's like a family member or an ASU student or professor, you can continue to nominate until February 20th for the Badass Women's nomination through their Instagram. And then also there's multiple events all over all Tempe camp or all ASU campuses if you're interested for the Women's History Month. So if you want to check Sun Devil Sync, and then all the information will be once again on the Women's Coalition Instagram.
Thank you. Anybody else with any partnership updates?
So it is Black History Month, so the Black African Coalition is obviously very busy with updates. So they have something basically every day. So I'll just give like maybe tomorrow's events because there are some happening right now, but they're already passed. So tomorrow there is a Tunnel of Black History event that's going to be happening, but I think it's happening at Polytechnic. I don't think that one's technically BAC, but it is a Black History Month event. And then there's also a bingo night happening downtown, and then the history of gospel music happening over Zoom. And there's a complete list of the events that are happening. I think there's a calendar somewhere on ASU's website. So if anybody would like that link, I can happily send it to you. But yeah, just there's basically like multiple things happening every day. So.
Awesome. Anything else from anyone? Okay. I'm not seeing any mics unmuted, but if you guys do see any like events or there's anything that you guys want to share with either the Senate or all of USG, feel free to sort of like throw those things in the general channel. I'm sure people would love to hear about those events and everything. And as per usual, I definitely recommend following all of these organizations. They're all very active on social media, just to stay updated on everything, assuming you use social media. Long ado probably waited for our Assistant Elections Commissioner, Josh. I'm gonna move you up to a panelist right now, Josh, so it's gonna like pull you up into the meeting, just so you're aware. So we'll give that a second. He should be moved up to panelist now. He's been waiting patiently for about 45 minutes to give you guys an elections update. So let us, Josh, have you made it up to panelist now?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect, amazing. So then you can begin sort of kind of telling us like what's going on with elections. We're very excited. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your patience.
No, of course. Thank you for having me. Let me just go ahead. I actually have a presentation for us. There's a little bit of a visual aid. All right, so this is a quick update on the state of the elections, as well as a quick little ask for everyone. So once again, my name is Joshua Valenzuela, and I am the Assistant Elections Commissioner who is serving as the Elections Commissioner for the Tempe USG elections this year. And today I wanted to offer you all first a quick timeline and rundown of where things stand as of right now, as well as a little bit of a request for how you guys can help with the elections. Now, to start, I'll be going over our timeline. I'll be providing you guys some information on some info sessions we're hoping to host in the very near future, as well as what you can do. Now, to start, our timeline as of right now, applications for anyone who is interested in running, that would be both for executive tickets as well as Senate candidates, are due by February 22nd at 11:59 p.m. The application is through Sun Devil Sync. We have a form that we have there, and there is a website that I am going to drop in the chat. So that, oh, I see that we have a chat.
Oh, sorry, there's no chat on the webinar, but if you want to just email me the link, I'll send it to the senators.
I'll send it. It's in the PowerPoint too. I just wanted to make it more accessible. So it's here, but I'll make sure that that gets out to everybody. But we do have a link where you can kind of find all of this information. You know, obviously not everybody can be here at this hearing, but we can still get it out to everybody. So after the February 22nd deadline, we will be planning on having our candidates announced on March 1st. Oh, I was supposed to say more than campaigning, and it's also supposed to be spelled right. Campaigning will run from March 15th to April 1st. That is our window for this year. The elections themselves running from March 30th to March 31st. And this year we will be rolling out voting not exclusively, at least I don't believe so, but mainly through Sun Devil Sync. So I know that there was a lot of issues with ballots last year. Hopefully that's not going to happen because we have, you know, we put some good money and some good effort into a much better voting system through Sun Devil Sync, and that's how we're going to be able to offer virtual voting for people who can't make it or simply would feel safer if they were able to do things remotely. And of course, with the end of voting, we intend to announce results on April 1st, assuming, of course, there is no runoffs. If there were runoffs, then obviously that would be the announcement of runoff elections, as well as providing a timeline for what runoffs will look like immediately afterwards. Here, did it freeze? Goodness me. All right, well, from the looks of it, we're having some technical difficulty. Oh, there we go. Information sessions. So we will be having some virtual information sessions to kind of offer an in-depth look into the elections process and what that will look like. It's mainly aimed at people who are interested in applying, but is open to absolutely anybody. We love whoever is interested and has a real passion for this sort of thing to show up. As of right now, we're planning to do it over Zoom, February 10th and 18th from 6 to 7 p.m. Again, this is just going to be a much more in-depth overview of the elections, what would be expected of you as a candidate, what you can expect from the timelines, that sort of thing. And we're really excited. We hope that we can get some people there, which actually leads me into our next request and my main reason for being here tonight, which is how you can help us find applicants. Now, As of right now, we've got 3 weeks, we've got plenty of time, and I'm sure that there are people who are out there who are just dying to get their names in. I've even heard some chatter myself on campus of people who have kind of floated their interest in this sort of thing. But still, we would like to ask that everyone here, obviously, the senators represent some of the more well-connected student leaders here on campus. And we know that you guys see a lot of the most dedicated and a lot of the most passionate student leaders and just students in general who might be great fits to run or even consider running, which is why I've come here to ask if you know anybody, if that's someone on your staff, if that is an intern within the structure of USG, or just anybody who you think would be a great applicant or great potential applicant. We'd love it if you could send them our way. And as I mentioned earlier, we have our main link here to the elections page. That is eos.asu.edu/studentgov/elections. If anyone has any direct questions for us, you can always contact the Elections Commission at asu.studentgovelections@gmail.com. And of course, I'd also often like to personally offer my own ASU email. Again, if anybody would like to come to me personally, this is my job to help deal with the elections, to help answer questions, and I am absolutely willing to take an email from anybody who's interested. So I give permission to put both of those emails out there. And of course, we've got everything that I'm saying right now is at that link, is at that elections page. So I'd highly urge you to write it down. I'll be sending it to Catherine after this so that we can get it to all of y'all. But again, that's the most definitive place. It also has the links to the elections page for undergraduate student government, as well as GPSA. Again, I know that's not really applicable to any of us, but if you happen to know somebody, I'm sure that they would love applications too. And yeah, so in short, we have a timeline planned. We can assure you all that everything is going very smoothly right now. And all we're asking is that if you know anybody or have heard of anybody who you think would be a great applicant, we would love it if you could send them our way, as well as get this information out through whatever channels you have. So let's find ASU's next generation of student leaders. Is that it? Oh, I don't remember adding the charter there. That's funny. Yeah, so thank you all so much. I'm here to take any questions from you all for the time being. Just let me know.
Yeah, it looks like Senator Isais has a quick question. So Senator Isais, you can unmute yourself and ask Joshua.
Hi, Joshua. I just had a quick question. Where could you find the application, or is it in that link that was featured in the presentation?
Thank you, Senator. Yes, the link that I have in the presentation does include links to the actual application itself. I will be sending the application link itself too. I know that one might not be very obvious. It can be a little bit elusive. So just so that way, for a bit of ease of access, I will be sending the application link as its own separate link. But even then, on the website, we do have the link that will take you directly into Sun Devil Sync. It'll take you right to the form, and you can start your application right then and there.
Awesome, thank you. And I'll make sure to get that to all of the senators so they can share with their friends, or if they're interested in running, that they can fill it out as well. Cool. Does anyone else have any questions? I don't see any other hands up, but I want to make sure that you guys are able to ask if you have a question now. Cool. Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions, but obviously you gave everyone your email. So if anyone does have any questions, feel free to direct them to the elections department or to Joshua. But thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And we will certainly help get the word out. Very exciting. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming in tonight.
No, thank you. I appreciate the time. Thank you all once again. And we hope to be in touch with some of y'all soon. Thank you.
Have a good night. Awesome. Well, that leaves us with our new business. So first we've got SB 26, and then next we'll have SB 25, sorry, and then we'll have SB 26. So if the author of SB 25 would like to screen share and then read the bill and then speak, and then we'll do speaking order and voting on that bill.
All right, thank you, Senate President Hostel. So this bill is entitled An Act to Reduce Students' Educational Expenses. Whereas the undergraduate student government of Tempe was formed to provide a forum for inter-university dialogue, to organize student involvement, and to advocate for and administer services, resources, and programs that benefit the students of Arizona State University. Whereas the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic has led to great uncertainty for undergraduate students, which has put additional stress on their financial security. Whereas Title VI, Article 6.6 of the USG-T bylaws states that all monies within the appropriations budget that are not used or allocated during the appropriations cycles can be redispersed by the USG-T Senate for the funding of other requests. Noting that the latest budget update submitted to the USG-T Senate by USG-T President Jacqueline Palmer indicated that the appropriations general fund still contains more than $350,000, representing more than 3 times the amount which was dispensed during the fall funding cycle. Further noting that the USG-T budget from academic year 2020-2021 cannot be carried over to the 2021-2022 academic year. Further noting that it is important to spend the USG-T student fee money each year for the benefit of students who are currently paying those fees. Further noting that USG-T can support students who are having unexpected financial challenges related to the COVID-19 pandemic and other interrelated crises by contributing funds towards areas of significant need. Cognizant of the fact that USG-T has previously allocated significant levels of funding to the ASU Office of Student Advocacy and Assistance's Crisis Fund, a sum of money which has not yet been exhausted. Cognizant of the fact that expenses related to books and supplies constitute a significant educational cost for many students, ASU estimates these expenses at more than $1,000 per year for the average student, and other universities have found that this level of cost for educational materials creates a significant financial burden for low-income students. Therefore, be it enacted that the Senate shall allocate $50,000 from the remaining academic year 2020-2021 USG-T Appropriations General Fund to the Executive Contingency Fund for the purpose of funding a textbook and supplies store credit pilot program created by USG-T President Jacqueline Palmer. To preserve Senate oversight of these funds, President Palmer will submit to the Senate a monthly report detailing how these funds are being utilized. So basically, the long and short of this bill is it will provide a mechanism for students, specifically during session B of this semester, but also hopefully future semesters as well, which is something that we're working on, to be able to have like a store credit at the bookstore that will allow them to purchase educational materials, textbooks, calculators, other school supplies, things like that. It's obviously a very difficult time for a lot of people right now, economically and financially. So every little bit helps. The crisis fund already exists and it's pretty well funded. So our committee thought that trying to tackle some of these educational expenses and help students with those would be a good idea, especially given the fact that, as the bill mentioned, we have a lot more funding than we need just to fund clubs and student orgs for this semester. So with that, I'll yield the rest of my time to President Palmer, and she can explain in more detail exactly how this is all going to work.
Thank you, Nate.
President Palmer, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you, Kate, or Senate President Hostel. So Nate did a pretty good, or Senator Onbar did a pretty good job explaining this. It will be handled very similarly to the crisis fund, so it has to be an application just so it can go through financial aid, so we can make sure it doesn't impact any student scholarships. And then the money will be credited into their Follett account once they're accepted for the amount that they put in. And they're going to be able to buy their books for their classes or supplies like a calculator or pencils or things that we put on the list. The money will just stay in the Follett account like a credit throughout the semester. And this will mainly be geared towards students in B session because, of course, we're well into A session, but if students still need to buy A or C session books, they can. And then if Senator Onbar could give the floor to Elizabeth, she could probably explain a little bit further about the logistics financially.
I wasn't prepared for this, but I guess actually, Senator Ambar, if anyone has questions, hopefully I can help explain that. Maybe that might be easier, just so I don't convolute anything.
Sure. Senator Onbar, is that okay with you to yield your time to questions for Elizabeth?
Yeah, I'll yield my time to questions for Director Rosenkrantz.
Perfect. I'm bad with the titles, guys. It's hard to be so formal all the time sometimes. Does any senator have questions about the logistics that they'd like to ask Advisor Rosencrantz? If so, you can certainly raise your hand, and Senator Anvar has graciously yielded time to her. So does anyone have any questions about logistics? I don't see any hands. So it looks like perhaps there aren't any questions about logistics, at least for the time being.
If there are, as always, if there are, Senator Anvar, President Palmer, and I are happy to answer any questions, but I think it goes back to you, Nate, probably.
Yeah, Senator Anvar, do you want to add anything? Oh, Senator Seiss has her hand up. Senator Seiss, is it a question for Elizabeth, or is it just to speak?
Oh, it's just a general thing. I think Nate can go first if they want.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to make sure that Nate has exhausted his his speaking, and then we'll move on to you. Is that, Senator Anvar, is that the case, or do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I yield the floor.
Okay, then Senator Seiss, you're good to make your comment.
Okay, I wanted to propose that maybe we vote by acclamation, or propose a motion, I guess.
Yeah, are there any objections or seconds to the motion by Senator Seiss?
Second.
Second, all right.
Second.
Hearing another second, and I'm not hearing any objections, so it looks like we are voting by acclamation on this bill. So good work, guys. Next, then, we will move on to SB 26, which is that amendment bill that Senator Decker referenced earlier. So if the author of the bill would like to share their screen.
Thank you. Thank you. It's coming up right now. All right. This is Senate Bill 26, and amendments to the undergraduate student government Tempe campus bylaws. However, it's one amendment. Whereas the undergraduate student government Tempe Senate has the power to amend the undergraduate student government Tempe bylaws pursuant to Title 8, Article 1, Section 1.1 of those bylaws, whereas the undergraduate student government Supreme Court has issued an advisory opinion upon the review of SB 24, which states that the USG Tempe Senate would be in violation of their own bylaws if a remedy was not provided to Title 4, Article 1.1 of the USG Tempe bylaws per their standards. Therefore, be it enacted that Title 4, Article 1.1 of the undergraduate student government Tempe bylaws be amended as follows upon a 2/3 vote of the undergraduate student government Tempe Senate. Essentially, we'd be crossing out the current wording states the voting membership of the Senate shall consist of a proportional number of senators from each degree awarding college housed primarily at the Tempe campus. And we'd be striking out housed primarily at the Tempe campus and inserting in which majors for that degree awarding college are offered at the ASU Tempe campus. Okay, so that is the conclusion of me reading the bill and the change that is being made. But essentially, this is the genesis of this change was the Supreme Court did not prefer the wording housed primarily at the Tempe campus because they said that a potential interpretation of that is that colleges like Mary Lou Fulton and the College of Health Solutions would not have any representation at all at the Tempe campus if they were to interpret a potential interpretation of the bylaws, because the addresses for those degree awarding colleges are at West Campus and downtown respectively. And the Government Operations Committee met together, and we agreed with them that the wording housed primarily at the Tempe campus could mislead to an interpretation of the bylaws that prevents representation for colleges like Mary Lou Fulton and the College of Health Solutions, which is why we're proposing this change, which says in which majors for that degree awarding college are offered at the ASU Tempe campus. Because the way it works now is the College of Health Solutions and Mary Lou Fulton, for example, are housed primarily at different campuses, but they do offer majors within that degree awarding college at the Tempe campus for Tempe students who still deserve representation in the Senate underneath that college, underneath the umbrella of that college. So we're changing that. The advisory opinion is linked here. It's a little lengthy and talks primarily about some other issue that we were able to work out that we talked about in Senate Bill 24, which was the Watts College with the reporting error on the auditors end, the enrollment auditors end, where they accidentally like double counted a student and at Tempe for the Watts College when really there's no majors for the Watts College offered at the Tempe campus. So that was alleviated already, and the Supreme Court has understood that rationale for not having a seat for Watts College. You guys can log on to or go into Senate Bill 26 and view the advisory opinion. Unless anybody has questions about that, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions about this whole thing.
Thank you, Senator Decker. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they'd like to speak on? If so, you can raise their hand and I will create that speaking order. Senator Mansfield, you have the floor.
I just want a motion to vote by acclamation.
All right, are there any seconds or objections to Senator Mansfield's motion to vote by acclamation?
Second.
All right, I heard 2 seconds, I'm pretty sure, and no objections, it sounds like. So SB 26 passes by acclamation. You guys are getting real efficient with these votes by acclamation. Makes it so much faster. But yeah, so good work tonight, you guys. With that, we're done with legislation for tonight. We'll move into open forum and announcements before we do a quick roll call and then an adjournment. Does anyone, if you have any things that you want to say for open forum or announcements, feel free to raise your hand, whether that's something you're working on, something you want to share with the Senate, something you forgot to mention an update earlier, whatever it is, just raise your hand. It looks like Senator Decker has something. So Senator Decker, if you want to go.
First of all, thank you for the easy support of SB 26. It's really helpful. Makes our jobs in government operations easier when we're dealing with these kinds of things. Additionally, I just wanted to follow up on an announcement I made 2 weeks ago regarding vaccinations and eligibility at the vaccine sites that are state-run and ASU supported. That ASU doesn't have, ASU is running the sites on behalf of the Department of Health, but they don't have a say in distribution of the vaccine, as Dean Aska said, but I do have some information. I think some people were confused on eligibility. So if you are a student worker, we have been told, as I'm an operations manager at the vaccination site, we have been told that we are accepting any staff for K-12 and higher education at those state-run sites. So as you will see, if you've tried to log on and make an appointment indicating that you are working in education, you'll notice there's no appointments anymore. However, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., they're opening 21,000 more appointments for the month of February at Phoenix Municipal Stadium site. So it's the same link that I had put in the Slack chat over there, and command at those sites have told the management, which I'm part of management, we are accepting any staff at universities as well as K-12 education. So if you provide proof that your staff, it's as simple as moving to the staff portal on my ASU, because we all should have access to the staff portal. Since we're technically student workers, you'll go right through. So just indicate you work in education when you're trying to make the vaccine appointment. They open at 9 a.m. tomorrow, so if you want an appointment, they'll go fast. Log on at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Senator Decker. Does anyone else have anything that they want to share with the team? All right, Senator Isais.
I just had a question for Senator Decker about where the link is. I think for some reason my Slack kind of takes away the community space sometimes, so I have to keep logging back in, and it takes away former channels I was in. But do you know what channel it was in when you posted that?
Yeah, I posted it in USG Tempe Senators, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Senator Decker, if you want to just post it again,
yeah,
that would probably be good for everyone.
I'm just going to copy and paste my message.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I don't see anyone else's hands raised, but obviously if you guys have anything, you can always message in the Senate channel. So keep up the great work, you guys. I hope things have been going well this semester. If you have anything that you kind of want to any sort of policy recommendations you have for me for ways to sort of improve Senate, let me know. Jyoti and I are working really hard to make sure that we're giving you guys the best experience and helping you guys advocate for the things that you care about. So certainly let us know any sort of feedback or anything, positive, negative, in between, or if you just want to work on something, or if you just want to, see pictures of Lugnut, I will send them to you. So I think that's pretty much all that I have. Just don't forget that caucus is next week. I know we're trying to really hard to reduce the amount of caucuses that we have, but this one is necessary. So I do expect all of you to be there. But if you can't make it, the policy is the same for regular Senate sessions. Just let Jyoti and I know a day in advance and you'll be excused. But yeah, so our finance team has been working hard on that. So let's make sure that we show up for them. But otherwise, I don't think I have anything else. Just make sure to try to submit your reports by midnight on Thursday. But obviously, like we've already discussed, that deadline is more lax now, and we're not going to be striking people if they submit it 8 minutes late. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So just make sure to submit it by about Friday at 8 a.m. And let us know if you want to work on any sort of legislation. And yeah, so I'll see you guys on Tuesday and then the following Friday as well for our all Senate session. Jyoti, if you want to do a quick roll call and then we'll adjourn the meeting. I don't know why I did that with the little motion. I'm getting too casual. Jyoti, if you want to go.
So I'll start with Senator Decker.
Here.
Yeah. Senator Huerta.
Here.
Senator Tinti.
Here.
Senator Onbar.
Here.
Senator Rico.
Present.
Senator Parde.
Here.
Senator Ibanez.
Here.
Senator Vakala.
Here.
Senator Hauk.
Here.
Senator Hollingsworth.
Here.
Senator Ibarra.
Here.
Senator Isais.
Here.
Senator Saidu.
Here.
Senator Lopez.
Here.
Senator Mansfield.
Here.
Senator Subramanian.
Here.
Senator Brown.
Here.
And Senator Vogel. Okay, that concludes our roll call.
Awesome. Well, great work tonight, you guys, and great work that you guys have been doing this whole semester. As always, if you do need anything from us or whatever you need, Senate report time extended, whatever it is, just let us know. Juicy and I are here to work with you. And I hope you guys have a good, I know first exams are kind of coming up, at least for me. So I hope you guys have a good sort of first round of exams and a great rest of the semester. And I will see you guys